What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this being my first review of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18. This is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, Episode 5. So the main reason why I didn't review the first 4 episodes is because I felt like it was too many queens, too many names to try to remember, all that good stuff. But I truly enjoyed this episode, and this has been my favorite episode thus far. So I just want to give you guys my point of view on this particular episode. I loved it. It's the first part of the Raider Queen talent show. And so one thing that I don't like about RuPaul's Drag Race is when the word alliance is being thrown around. Although alliances can be helpful in these types of situations, especially on All Stars when we're all voting, and with Raider Queen when we're rating queens and determining who's going to be in the top and who's going to be in the bottom. But for me, as an avid Survivor watcher, I'm also a fan of Big Brother and these types of shows that require alliances in order to win. I just don't know if RuPaul's Drag Race is the right place to be throwing the alliance word around. But anyway, so the girls, just for filler, at least in my opinion, the girls are, you know, they're throwing around these ideas of how they're going to vote, how they're going to decide, because only 6 of the queens are performing this week, and then the other 5 are performing next week, and so they're trying to decide. RuPaul gives them the choice of whether they want to go on week 1 or week 2. He also tells Vita that she gets to choose, which week she's going to go. So I don't know if that was necessarily an advantage or not when everyone had the opportunity to choose which week they went. But anyways, so we find out that this week is going to be Sierra Mist, Juicy Love Dion, Mimi Coco, as well as Darlene Mitchell, Sierra Mist, and Mia Starr. Uh, so this was a great talent show. So let's just get into the talent show. First of all, as far as the runway is concerned, I feel as though this was the worst runway of the season so far. The only look that I loved was Juicy Love Dion. I loved that look that she wore. She looked like she came right out of the Broadway show Death Becomes Her. Like, she looked gorgeous. I will say though, I would like to see some versatility when it comes to Juicy's hair, because she's worn nothing but short looks. Of course, that cat wig that she wore in the first episode, as well as the Girl Group Challenge for her entrance, rather. She wore the cat wig for her entrance. And also she wore either a similar wig or the same wig for the Girl Group Challenge. And she's also got this red, kind of finger wave shortcut. And I'd like to see a different hairstyle on Juicy. Although I will say that I felt like the hairstyle did fit for last week as well as this week. So I'm not necessarily mad that she wore the same wig 2 weeks in a row. I would just love to see a little bit of versatility when it comes to Juicy's wig choices. But I thought her look was amazing. But I did not like any of the other looks. I did not like Sierra Mist's look. I did not like Kenya Pleaser's look. I understand that she had to borrow it from Jane Don't, but it just wasn't flattering for me. As much as I love Mia Starr, I like the concept of her bow outfit, but I felt like it was too cumbersome. Felt like it was too big. I don't know. I just didn't like it. But anyways, let's get to these talent show performances. So first up is Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist is performing a poem, and she starts out in this cocoon, which looks amazing. I will have to say though, I'm a little annoyed by Sierra Mist's makeup. The overdrawn lip takes me out every single time. Like, I hate that overdrawn lip. It looks weird to me, and it's big for no reason, at least in my opinion. But anyways, Sierra Mist's poem is a bit on the depressive side. It's very much a serious type of thing. She goes on saying in the poem that she hates herself and things of this nature and that nature, but she starts out in a cocoon and she becomes a butterfly. I did like the wings on the head. I did like seeing that. But you don't do serious things on the main stage. The serious talk is saved for workroom, getting ready, putting your makeup on. That's where we hear all of the sad stories. But the main stage is not the place for that at all. We do our serious stuff behind the scenes, and we do our funny comedic performance stuff on the main stage. So I don't agree that Sierra Mist deserved to be in the bottom. Also, Vita performed this week. I forgot to mention that. And so, although I don't believe that Sierra Mist deserved to be in the bottom, to be the bottom queen that's lip syncing next week, I thought it should have been Vita, which we'll get to her performance a little bit later. But I just didn't think that her performance was right for the main stage. I just don't think serious things are right for the main stage at all. Anyways, next we have Juicy Love Dion. Love Dion is performing. Excuse me, is performing a song, an original song where she's playing a robot that's in a video game. Juicy Love Dion is all about doing stunts, and she's very acrobatic. She's very athletic. She does a lot of tumbling, and her tumbling is very clean and crisp. And I do agree with Juicy being in the top for this talent show, for this first part of the talent show. I thought she did an awesome job. I really thought that she did an awesome job for sure. It was very, very nice to see. Juicy turned it out. Juicy ate that, as she said in her song. Juicy ate that for sure. So yeah, that was nice to see. It was nice to see Juicy Love do her thing. I loved her outfit. She literally looked like a robot, dressed as a robot. I loved the skirt. It was great. It was a great performance. Then we got Mimi Coco. Mimi Coco was dressed as a praying mantis, and her song was about the fact that female praying mantis they eat their male counterparts after they co-create after they mate, I guess. Yeah, mate. After they mate. That female, praying mantises eat the male praying mantis after they mate. And so Mimi's entire song was, "You want to make me your wife, I want to make you dinner." And I love the fact that after the performance was over, Michelle said, "You want to make me your wife?" And then RuPaul answered, "I'm going to make you dinner." I thought that was so cute. It was so cute. Mimi had, in my opinion, the third best performance. I feel as though if Juicy and Mia didn't perform this week, I feel like Mimi would have been in the top for sure. For sure. I loved Mimi's outfit for this performance. Um, I loved her makeup. Her performance was interesting. Her performance was entertaining. I know a lot of people are saying that Mimi has performed this a similar number in the past, but I don't think she performed this particular song in the past. I believe that when she did this type of performance previously, it was with a different song. So a lot of people were giving Mimi flack for doing something that she's been known to do, or that quote went viral in the past. But I don't mind it at all. Since I didn't see it, then I have no issue with it. Maybe if I had seen it, I might have more of an issue, but I don't have any issue with it whatsoever. So, anyways, then we get Vita. Vita is doing a whole aerobics type deal. I thought she looked great. Kenya pointed out the fact that she was wearing sneakers on the main stage, but when you're doing like aerobics and athletic stuff, like maybe if she had a wedge on, she wouldn't have gotten as much flack. But I don't mind her wearing sneakers. My issue with Vita was it didn't seem like she knew all of the words to her songs. She was turning around a lot. She was putting her back to the camera a whole lot. Like, I don't know if she was doing that because she didn't know the words or she didn't know what to do or whatever the case might have been. But the energy was very low during this performance. And I don't know if Vita, just judging off of her first lip sync against Mimi Coco on the first episode and this performance during the talent show, Mimi doesn't seem like she's necessarily a performer. I don't know, but I would love to see Mimi perform a little bit better in the future. So as far as I'm concerned, I feel as though Vita should have been in the bottom. She should have been the bottom queen this week. I feel as though she had the worst performance this week. I love Vita. I love her designing skills. I think she's a great drag queen. I've heard a lot of people say that Vita's paint is very old school drag. I don't necessarily mind it. It's not necessarily the prettiest makeup per se, but I think it looks nice on her. I really do. So then we get Darlene Mitchell. Darlene Mitchell has this huge toolbox on the stage, and she's got tools, and she's got screwdrivers as earrings, and it's the whole screwing thing. I get why it might have been funny, but I wish there was more to the performance. Maybe if she would have built something or looked like she was building something. I don't know. I didn't really understand the performance. I know the nailing, of course, that double entendre. I guess, but I wasn't gagged by Darlene Mitchell's performance. However, I will say though that I do like Darlene a whole lot. I don't necessarily appreciate her fashions now, because her dress that she wore for the runway was so cheap looking. Oh my gosh! But I think I love seeing her in the confessionals. I think she seems like a really sweet girl. So I do like Darlene Mitchell's personality. I think she seems like a sweet person that I would want to get to know myself. So, anyways, we round out this talent show with Mia Starr. Mia Starr was honestly my favorite. I would have put her number one if I was rating a queen. Mia Starr is my favorite queen of this season. Now, I don't necessarily expect her to win. I don't think she's going to win. I think it would be great if she did win, but as far as my prediction for who's going to win, I'm really thinking that it's going to be Jane Don't that wins this season. I'm just putting that out there right now. I'm assuming that Jane Don't is going to win this season. I think they're setting it up for it to be like that. She's a great designer. She's a great at comedic things. I'm probably going to assume that she's going to win Snatch Game. So, and I wouldn't be upset if Jane Don't won this season because I think it would be deserving. She's a great queen. All of her looks, well, let me not say that because I haven't liked a lot of her looks. I didn't like her McCall look for them dressing like animals, and I didn't like her look this week either for the satin runway. But anyways, Jane Don't is a great drag queen, needless to say. But Mia is my favorite this season. Just seeing Mia in the confessionals, she seems like such a lovely, bubbly person. Like, she seems like someone that I would want to get to know. Like, I would want to call and have a good time with. And, I don't know exactly how old Mia is, but she has such a jovial personality. And, in the first four episodes, she really wasn't getting that much shine, even though she was in the top for the Girl Group Challenge. I thought that was great. I love seeing her in the top there. And of course, she was in the top for this particular episode as well. So I don't know if Mia is necessarily a front runner, and I wish that I liked Mia's runway looks a little bit better. Um, but anyways, I guess maybe Mia's not a fashion queen, but who knows? But I love Mia. I love Mia. Mia, if you're watching this, Mia Star, you are my favorite for this season. Mia, although she wasn't doing a whole lot for her performance, the energy and the attitude in which she performed was top tier, top notch, amazing. And the way that she moved, just like Ross Matthews said during his critiques, like, we can see that that is unique, and that is only what Mia can do. Only Mia can do that. And Ross said, if anyone else dances like that, we'll say she got that from Mia, because as soon as Mia gives me Banji Girl all day long, and that's what I love most about Mia. And I think Law Roach said that in the previous week's runway challenge, where they had to combine two classic runway looks together to make a new look, and Law Roach said that it looked classy, but it also looked ratchet. And, Mia's one of those, ratchet type queens. Not ratchet in a bad way, but ratchet in the best way possible. And I love that. I will have to say, though, I did like Mia's look for the performance. I didn't necessarily like the wig and the makeup necessarily. I thought it looked a little harsh, just a little bit. But I think that's because of the blue lipstick. I think the blue lipstick mainly, made the look a little bit harsh. But, it was very bangy, especially that multicolored wig. Like, it was everything. It was everything. Ah, Lord, I love Mia. Mia's my favorite. My favorite. Hands down. Mia's been my favorite since the first episode. When I first saw her walk into the workroom saying that she's representing for the girls with the big backs. Like, I love Mia. And I love the fact that although Mia looks a certain size in her confessionals, she pads in a way that makes her look thicker. And I love that she's able to pull that off. I love the fact that she's able to pull that off. I really, really love that. I really do. And Mia's song, by the way, is something that I would buy. I would buy Mia's song. And although initially it didn't sound like it was Mia in the song, but as I continue to listen to it, that was definitely Mia on the song. I will say though, I like the first song a little bit better than the second song. I just loved that beat. That beat was so Florida. It was so down south. It was so Jiggy, honey, it was everything. I love Mia. I love Mia, needless to say. But anyway, so the ladies do the Raider Queen. All the judges give their critiques, although they don't do it in front of the girls. They tell us as the audience what they thought. Mia and Juicy, of course, were their top two. Their bottom two were um, between Sierra, Vita, and Darlene. So there's that. Anyway, so Sierra missed. She is the bottom queen, so she'll be lip syncing next week against next week's bottom queen for the week two of the Raider Queen talent show. And our top two are Juicy Love Dion and Mia Starr. I'm so excited for Mia. I'm so excited for Mia. I have a feeling that, the producers are trying to push that Juicy might win this season. I wouldn't necessarily be upset with Juicy winning because I think she seems like a really, really nice girl. I didn't understand her relationship with Briar, but I feel as though I've heard that they knew each other in Florida before and they've hung out before, so they were actually kind of friends before the show even started. So I get that, but I do love Juicy as well. I do love Juicy, and I love Athena. I love the Florida girls from this season. I really do. And Mikey Meeks is so underrated. Her paint every single week is on point, and I did like her runway this week as well. I will say her. I'll put her right behind Juicy Love's satin runway. So yeah, Mikey is an underdog for sure, and she's a beautiful queen, beautiful queen. But anyways, so the top two, Juicy and Mia, are going to do a lip sync to Pretty Ugly, and I have to say that this was the best lip sync of the season so far. I love the way that Juicy and Mia did the song in their own way, in their own styles. Mia doing her ratchet, on the spot choreo for the song. She was shaking them big old titties. And, of course, RuPaul loves that. And Mia did a better job at emoting for the song. Um, I feel like Mia was more into the song, and although it was a double win, I really feel as though Mia won that lip sync. Even though Juicy did great, Juicy did a great lip sync. She knew all the words. Both of the girls knew all the words, which is always priority number one. But I have to say that I hate that lip syncing has become a stunt show. I feel as lip syncing has lost its meaning. Lip syncing is just what it is. It is a lip sync. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind seeing acrobatics during a lip sync. It's just that I don't like that being certain queens' go to when it comes to lip syncing, like seeing a shablam or a death drop or a dip, however it is you want to categorize, when the ladies just go straight back with the one leg up and one leg back. Like, of course, we're going to see splits all the time. Of course, that's a classic drag queen move. But I just want to see a queen emote and really get into the meaning of the song, into the words of the song, into the feeling of the song. And I really feel like Mia did that perfectly. But I am happy that Mia and Juicy did one. And if you watched when RuPaul first said Juicy's name, and Mia's reaction to that, and Mia was just smiled and was happy for her niece, and I loved seeing that Mia has a heart. Like Mia, I love Mia, I love Mia. Oh my gosh! So needless to say, Juicy and Mia, they're the top two now for the preview for next week. It seems like Mia is not going to rate Athena too high, and to be honest, although I think Athena is probably a great drag queen, I don't know what we're going to see for her talent show, and I'm just going to assume that she's going to do a lip sync. I don't know, but we'll see when it comes to that. But anyways, what did you guys think of this episode? What do you guys think of the season so far? Who were your favorite queens? Let me know down in the comments. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, press the thumbs up button. Also leave a comment as I just told you guys to do, or asked you guys to do rather. Be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, and also be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Quick announcement, be sure to join me every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I always have a great time with my sister Prophetic Fire Reiki, as well as our friend Bianca Edwards. We always have a great time on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. So join us on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.